Team Liquid's hopes and dreams of making playoffs and also champs this year could potentially come true today. They gotta take down Apex, but for Apex, they have to win. They need a win at some point this year, and it would also help them for their champs dreams as well.
There's a lot of pressure on the line today for both teams in totally different sides of sort of that spectrum.
Yeah, the sunset is gonna go. I think you manifested this, but also Liquid always being so smart with their map vetoes. I think we saw this coming.
Yeah, I think we saw this coming, and I think if you're Apex, you're probably expecting Team Liquid to take that sunset off of you as well. You know, it's the only map that you've won in the past 2 series that you've played the past 2 weeks, so there's no surprises there. Apex picking into Ascent though, I'm intrigued to see how different this looks considering they have new additions to the team. Is it going to be Batu playing that Deadlock? Is it in fact going to be Malzy, who we saw on the Deadlock previously? Or do we finally get to see that double duelist that we've all been screaming and shouting for from Apex?
This is a really exciting map veto actually, because of course we're seeing that Kuro come through, but particularly for me, the Ascent, I'm really intrigued to see what Team Liquid bring out here, because they've not played this since stage 1, and this was when the Tejo was still the meta, so it will be really interesting to see what comps they bring out this time.
I love that point, Meg, because when we think about Team Liquid, you know, this is a team that have shown 5 maps in the 2 weeks already that we've seen them, which is crazy to think that it's a team that's come back from Masters 2. You think about how much prep that they've had to put in as well with Trex coming into the roster. You know, you're looking at them and you're thinking, okay, this is actually impressive to not be afraid to play these variety of different maps. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see what that Ascent looks like. Like you say, do they still have the Tejo? I don't know, considering the changes that they've had recently. But then how do they also implement Trex here?
I'm glad you mentioned Trex, because I need everybody who's watching right now to get excited with me about the return of Trex to Ascent. We have not seen him play Ascent since champs against Trace Esports when he was on Team Vitality.
Wow.
There was a loss, unfortunately, but it was a very uncharacteristic loss for Trex. Since he's been in VCT, 2020 days, Guild days, Vitality days, whichever days you want to think about, this man has been insane on Ascent. You know, he's very flexible, never missed a single piece of util, the shock dust, the raise nades, even whipped out a cheeky Reyna at one point, but he just dominates on Ascent. This is his home ground. If I had to associate him a little bit with one of the maps in the past, in his career, not only Ascent, but Ascent is definitely up there. So when you talk about Team Liquid upgrading, when you talk about Team Liquid having a buff, that is Trex, Ascent is where it's at. And to add on top of that, I want to give Sliggy a little bit of credit, but Liquid's always been good on Ascent. There's just something about this team on Ascent. So I almost feel a little bit weirded out to pick that map against them, but for Apex, they must have something up their sleeve. They know, like you guys said, Sunset, they're not going to play Sunset today. So I think we can cope a little bit.
It will be interesting, because I think they're sort of, what they brought to Ascent previously was that kind of double sentinel, you know, that Deadlock Cypher, and I think that caught a few people off guard. However, now since then, we've seen it, you know, we've been there, done that. So I think it'll be interesting to see if they have brought anything new to the table, because that was their new thing, which I would say no longer is new. So.
Yeah, and I think as well, to that point, Apex were also playing that double sentinel, right? So both teams would know how to approach that when it comes to those kind of compositions. But I'm going to say it again, I want to see a double duelist. I really want to see a double duelist.
On both sides?
More so from Apex than Team Liquid, I would say. I think Team Liquid have great players that already the double sentinel, to me, looked good. I think that they can still make that work and work around that on Ascent specifically. But yeah, I think for Apex, I'm needing to see a Penny Phoenix.
Phoenix, I'm not sure.
Give me a Phoenix on Ascent.
Okay.
Give it to me.
He's played a lot of agents, but he's never played Phoenix on Ascent, so that will be new for him.
I want to see it.
And I mean, since I'm doing history lessons anyway, well,
I love
Penny, when he was on G2, not the current, not the guard G2, and not the EMEA G2, the little bit of a stint in between, NA Tier 2 G2.
Yeah.
Also, with that team, they enjoyed a long time of winning on Ascent. Penny on that Jet, doing some very, very bog standard sort of things. So I think both teams have a little bit of comfort when it comes to players that like Ascent, players that have played a lot of Ascent. So as we take a look at Agents, let's see if you guys are right, if we will get the double duelist coming out of them or not. We will. And I mean,
manifested.
but we say goodbye to the Deadlock.
we do say goodbye to the deadlock, this is something that I was considering, you're right. Do they have it on Mosey or Batu? But no, Batu's going to be playing that Yoru. I'm so excited to see that. We saw him play it on Pearl back in stage 1, and it just looked absolutely incredible. You can see the confidence kind of oozing through him whenever he jumps onto that agent. I think, honestly, for me, it just looks like what's most comfortable for Apex at first glance.
I mean, you talk about confidence.
I was gonna say,
looking at
look
Team
at
Liquid,
Liquid.
I'm quaking in my boots.
They are on their like sort of strength roles as well. You know, we know Nats is incredible on that Viper, but his Cypher scares me almost more, especially starting on that defense side. I do think they're going to struggle maybe a little bit against someone like Nats, who will adjust to kind of how Apex play and if they figure out his setups.
I mean, this is almost best in slot. Looking at all of the, I mean, it's a comp that we've seen like a billion times, but it is from these kind of players that you got to be scared about, and it's time to throw this over to your casters, and let's see what they thought about the agent select. Hazard and Gyro, over to you.
Oh man, I'm just so excited to see what Apex have brought out for us. The first time we cast them in VCT. Nah, mate, nah, that's enough of that. We're done with that. We can't be biased anymore. Off you go, get yourself changed. Yeah, we are going to get Apex versus Team Liquid. And this is an exciting one because Team Liquid could potentially lock in playoffs here. But as for Apex, I mean, this is almost the last life left in this stage.
Yeah, you talk about getting to playoffs. For Apex, this group stage is their playoffs. If they can't succeed here, then it's back to challengers. They go with both of us at the end of the week. So that's not what we're looking forward to. In terms of the composition that they bring out on Ascent, though, and when you look at Liquid's history, the only loss they've registered on it so far was against the double duelist Eurojet, which Heretics played.
Straight towards mid, and it's Apex who start things off flying. It's Batu to pick up the first. Patty gone, and those flashes as well.
Very quick duel in mid. Nat fighting this one forward, really pushing the envelope, the Cypher player. He is forced to drop back, while the setup is currently on B.
Yeah, that's a really big loss in the paranoia, considering you don't have a lot of utility. Kiko, though, goes searching and can't quite find what he's looking for. Apex need to be careful in terms of the health count on all players.
And the question here is, do Apex think that they're walking into a site without Cypher utility after Nat's showing face on the other side of the map?
That's the question. Does Apex collect all 5 outside of B?
I mean, the placement of the trap as well isn't too close to the wall, so they might not hear it buzzing beyond.
Utility now being shown, and back to doing a short TP on towards site. The players now trying to find Trex as the first one caught is Penny. Oh, info dart to try and help, and now the players know exactly where the remaining Sova is, and still all 5 alive for the attack.
But a lot of time in the process, though. Liquid queuing up for this retake now.
Spamming through, not really getting much here, Camel, but it's the health that's probably the biggest advantage to Team Liquid here, and the fact that they have 3 Sheriffs.
And 3 targets within striking distance of just 1 bullet to the chest. Liquid may even look to try and wipe some off the board here.
It's all about how Apex play off of one another. As the players slowly make their way through, Team Liquid begin to dismember every single player on the site, dismantle the hold that Apex had. Only 1 player remaining, and it is Ollie Zera who will be caught, and Team Liquid with the pistol.
They wash Apex away. The cleanup crew arrives, and it's instant, the retake. Really strong fundamentals, and that's something you have to be testing here, with it being another revision of this Apex lineup from year to year, the challenges that they've had. And the player on your screens is at the forefront of it, Kiko. His role change coming out of being a duelist for Apex in 2023, signed on to Liquid for 24, and in 25 he looks like one of the best in this region.
And not only just this region, I'd go as far to say he's probably the most informed player in the world at the moment. The way that he's been able to switch roles, and every single time he doesn't look out of place.
The purple patch on his stats sheet would certainly suggest it to be the case. If there's any player that can torment Team Liquid the opposite way, I think it has to be Batu. We've got to be looking at this Yoru. Like Billy said, that debut on Pearl, it was an absolute masterclass, but it feels like we've been waiting so long to see it. In this round, they are being diligent. It's another orb picked up. Starting to move closer to that dimensional drift. And now onto the A site. The spike is still sat on Molesy though, and he is quite a way away.
Yeah, he's taking his time. I thought for a minute Apex might try and do a 4-player fake towards A, the old classic, and get the spike onto the side.
It's like, yeah, you rush B, I go A, the pistol around strat.
Yeah, it's a classic. But
it is all classics here.
Yeah, I mean, with that being said, everyone on Apex is going to be heading in towards B, and you look towards Patty and the Spectre in hand, you're expecting this to be a mowdown.
Sure, it's a 5 versus 2 though,
left.
and Trek's playing from spawn.
But like,
Let's see how scary this can get.
I don't know if it'll be that scary as well. Patty's able to get one. It's all about Trex' sheriff goes. We know how good he can be. And he is showing us some gold standard shooting right now as he continues to find more and more. That's probably as best we'll see from Apex on an eco round, getting rid of 2 of those buys. But remember, you've got to be thinking of the upgrades that are like the remaining weapons on the floor.
Yeah, the individuals on Liquid's definitely something to think about, and one of them, of course, Kiko. We already highlighted it a little bit. If his career were to end, you know, in the next few days, which God forbid we hope it doesn't, one of his biggest regrets would be that 2023 Ascension Grand Final. But the way that he so quickly found comfort on the stage after that first year to really bed in with Liquid, and now kept on as someone who is, you know, always has such a strong mentality to really be learning and improving. That's why he's been able to pick up the role so successfully.
It's time to lock in because this will be Apex's first full buy to go up against what is Team Liquid's bonus round, but you could be mistaken for it with the buy that they have. And Team Liquid, they hold on to A main successfully, no contest there.
You would have seen the stat flown as well just before the round started. Liquid win today and it's a playoffs lock, so strong start on Ascent is just as imperative for them as it is Apex. Their VCT lives. Camo finding the first engagement short. Batu is gone. And Penny, while he tried to follow the play up behind, tagged by the cam and pushed out behind the smoke, hasn't gained any ground.
Yeah, but look at Molesy. He has, and on the top back of that, Olizera has B main. That's a big 1 versus 1. And Molesy's going to win it out. That creates a real problem for Team Liquid here.
They lose all of the pressure in B main in the process. Patty hitting a big shot, but Molesy hasn't stopped. Second for the captain now. And Apex starting to shift their focus. It's back to the A site, actually.
I wonder if Bucky with it. Oh, that's massive. And it's even better as Apex get the next couple. And it's up to Partitek, who is already making his way to the B site. He's here early.
And now revealed by the drone. All chances starting to fade. Penny on the spam. And Apex on the board. It got a little bit messy, but Molesy ever consistent. This has been one of the best stages that we've seen from him in VCT so far, and it's coming at just the right time.
It is, and I think as well, when we saw Apex coming into VCT this year, there was a big question mark on firepower and what they were going to be able to bring into this stage. I mean, obviously, the results haven't come, but some of the individual performances have.
They reshaped again during the downtime, but like you say, it was not just the players that have come in, but the players that they lost. Kayak, of course, now on Fnatic looking world class, and Sulcus, someone who I think Batu has done a good job at filling in the shoes of. But here, it is all about Molsy's drone, and Camo pushed off the angle. A stalemate in B main.
Handshake, but Team Liquid will be the ones to hold on to that space and have re-cleared it at the same time. As Apex go to clear through mid. A little bit of chip damage towards Patitek.
That's also calling for the rotation as well. Apex constantly have that threat that they can burst into a site, especially with Batu and Penny both having full utility belts. As soon as I say that,
Camo has no dash. He has no way of getting out.
Batu's TP'd back here. He wants that orb really for the ult to enter sight, but Camo is diligent on the line, and Batu first to be shown the door. Apex accelerating towards B.
Yeah, but Trex looking to try and challenge the push, the execute, doesn't work out. Olizera gets that. But look at Nats trying to escape to side.
But they have heard the steps. The paranoia certainly caught him. Being cautious. Penny, nowhere for caution. Into CT, collecting 2. And now it's only Nat, so Apex will scurry from his sight.
found you.
And just swinging at it, he can't quite land the shots. I mean, it's a late plant, but a secure one.
Yeah, and Nats, does he even want to try and go for this?
No.
We've got to be thinking about the next round and how this game develops.
10 seconds left.
And Apex go
Spike
2 for 2.
planted.
This is looking decent so far.
If you want to mention Apex and draw that golden thread of Heretics through the two teams again,
Yeah.
not only did Liquid lose to the same composition they're facing here, albeit an entirely different roster, Apex beat that same Heretics team in their first outing on Ascent. It was a Waylay experiment gone wrong, I think, if you want to, you know, really correct it and add the caveat. But I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. I think in terms of the entries, Penny has looked a lot better. I think that's something that was missing from this team before, maybe, where you look at Kiko and Kayak in terms of player profiles. When they spent their time in challenges, they felt very autonomous, that they could lead the line and be very instinctive with their entries, whereas Penny felt like he was kind of leaning on the setup a lot of the time from the players around him in the first couple weeks, but this is already looking a lot better.
Yeah, and Penny will obviously know exactly what he needs to do to face up against Team Liquid have played against them in Prax. And most interestingly, coming out of that last round, is we're going to be heading straight into a Team Liquid timeout.
Yeah, I mean, he played for Team Liquid as well, right? And these two organizations share an office. I mean, this is the Adlershof derby, I suppose. I don't really know how else to paint it, but Lohan immediate to invest the timeout, and you can understand why, because a few more rounds like this where Liquid sort of trying to react with the rotations, Apex have been able to manipulate them fairly well, but it's also a little bit chaotic on their own behalf.
Yeah, I think like that's the big thing. Just not getting the full grasp of how Apex are moving, right? Like 2 players caught in CT in that last round, a little bit disconnected maybe within the comms. Maybe just a little bit complacent is the word that I would use.
But for Danny, face won't maybe reflect it in the 60-second break, but he's in high spirits today. We sort of managed to catch him around the arena for 9 straight losses in a row, 11 in all competitions in VCT. Apex need to notch that first win, and looking at it here, yeah, it wasn't that long ago that we saw Penny with the Liquid squad in Toronto. Another fun stat about that as well, he is the player with the longest vacancy in between 2 international appearances since he debuted with V1 back in Reykjavik 2021.
That's crazy. Back to mid we go, back to mid we look once again. Apex being given this for completely free. Team Liquid not really challenging this, more playing for the extremities. And look at Camo and how far up he's got in B main.
Yeah, and I think it's rounds like this as well, which were the undoing of Apex at times, the ones that you expect to win, especially when you're coming into this fresh off of a timeout. You can see they're giving a lot of respect to Liquid, but there gets to a stage in the round where you need to then start taking some space, not leaving it too late and having things be how they were in the last couple.
And this is where last week would have been the learning experience that we saw Danny speaking about in that interview early on with Billy. Just the fact that, listen, we should have won certain rounds, we should have won that series, but you know what? Now heading in towards next week, we've had our learning experiences, we've made our adjustments, and that's where the scrims would have been focused.
Sheer paranoia just to clear short there, as Olazera has to be careful, has broken the cam in B main. Keeping the attention of Team Liquid as it's a slight swap redistribution of the players. Patty trying to fight into the smoke. Kiko should have flashed up on the radar here. It doesn't look like he's been spotted. The Sheriff gets to work, but only shoots down 1.
Still Nats close by, he was playing around the smoke, and that is the one rifle that Team Liquid have.
Phantom here could cause a problem. It's the shot dart from Trex. And now there's only 15 seconds. Apex running out of time. And with the ult in, Batu forced to commit to it. Plant does go in, but there's problems on site. It's Camo's blades, which have finally been sheathed. But Nats has already found his way out into the open. Try into the crossfire. Ollie has the first, but Nats will be looking to dice up the angles with the cage in
7
front.
bullets.
This is his chance. Found the first, but Ollie is there. Safe pair of hands to keep Apex back in this game.
And as well as that, a big investment for the Hunter's Fury to be used from Team Liquid in a round that looked almost doable. I mean, early on, Patitech taking that early gamble of walking into the smoke, the timing not walking out. Liquid's utility absolutely spot on, unfortunately for them. the gunfights didn't go their way.
Roles a conversation on both sides, really, to be had, and one of them is Olazera. We only saw his Cypher for the first time.
Get out of my way!
The final map the other day. He looked so much better on it, and already you can see here 3K under his belt, continuing to build stage confidence as Apex with their full house of ults look to make a combo play of their own with the Hunter's Fury. Camo's lived it, but only momentarily. Penny hitting the scene with a burst of blades, and the B side carved open, but just for a moment. Not if Nats has anything to say about it.
Still the utility spot on. Nats can't quite get the spam, but that's now 3 ults invested by Apex in this round. As the spike goes down, Team Liquid are close by to flood back in.
It's 4. Penny has the blades as well. There's barely
yeah?
going to be anything left for it. And it's a huge swing round in terms of finance as well. You can see Apex do want to double down. Olazera on the prowl again, the aggressive Sentinel. Trying to set up Penny for some kind of a fight or vice versa. It's a 1-2 punch. Looking for a duel, Judge in his hands, but it's Olazera with the first. Penny following up as Molesy digs the grave of Patty. The fellow countryman falling, and Kiko with little left to do against his former side. He's going to have to walk away from this, head bowed low as Penny nails the final shot. 4 for Apex.
You can hear the energy in the roster as well.
Yep.
It feels as if everything is maybe falling into place at the right time, but we won't get ahead of ourselves just yet.
No.
This is a really nice round. I mean, a lot of ultimates invested, but Apex got what they wanted, right? They'll start to really build this lead on attack, on Ascent, which typically we see fall towards the defender side.
Nice! Insane, Eric, bro! Insane, bro!
Keeping the vibes up is majorly important though, and like you said, while I might be the only person this side of the stage with an Apex jersey on, Liquid have their support, and the Apex fans need to create that environment for themselves in the server. Big mid duel, Penny wins it again, on rails right now. Huge double up against this half investment from Liquid. And Apex have time, space. It's their choosing where they want to go.
I agree, right? They do have time and space, Apex, to go and do what they want, but that time and space will allow the rifles on the floor to get picked up, like Nats has just done through mid. Now, Team Liquid, they're starting to lean heavier towards the A side, and I'm wondering, is it going to be, hey guys, let's try and keep the rifles, or do they actually attempt the 3 versus 5? There is Cypher utility on the site.
Yeah, and Nats has now just got the notification that it is the B site hit from Apex again. They've been moving steady through this left-hand side so far. Liquid made the gamble that if we were to have our site breached on A, we have half a chance to fight them with the guns. But because they've chosen the opposite side of the map, it is going to be the safe call with Patty sent to hunt.
Yeah, I mean, try and do as much damage as possible, but for the most part, you look at Apex finances, they're looking flush with cash, so maybe for them, that's an extra ultimate orb.
It's also Penny leading the way with opening picks yet again, because another thing that I noticed about him, from that speech, the iconic one now that we saw from Nats, that with it being such a quick fix, a stand-in for Toronto, the main point being made to his duelist at the time was, look Penny, just keep doing your thing, play it loose, play it as you would want to play. Whereas with Apex, he's being fixed into a much more pre-existing system, I suppose. Like, they've had time to actually work him into the side, whereas it had only been a week, if not a few days, when he arrived on the scene in Toronto. But it feels like we're kind of seeing them take it a step back here, and now Penny's actually being let off the leash to sort of play how he wants, especially with how he was taking those mid-duels.
But we're back to another important round, and in terms of discrepancies in the buys, we're looking at 3 light shields for Team Liquid here, which will obviously Apex going to be nowhere near it. And as you said, Penny, electric at the moment, 10-3. And if we look towards the map in terms of the players, they are going to lean Apex more heavily towards the A main, where we haven't really seen them start just yet.
Patty can immediately collate some information. 3 players hit by the 0 point. Apex still looking fairly direct. The dash has been denied, no tailwind. It's taken offline, and it's a big kill from Patty. Still has the null command up, of course, as well. And that just becomes even more potent. with the numbers if they want to posture for a retake. But looking at the positioning of Nats on backside B in the boathouse, you're playing to defend and flood here, really.
Yeah, Nats is calling for support. That's why Camo's coming over to try and help him if there is going to be a hit. But at the same time, there's a drone moving through mid to try and create more pressure on other parts of the map.
Liquid haven't really buckled, though. They're still resolute in positioning. They know that the setup should be good for it. TP finally taken by Batu. He's in the backlines now.
Yeah, and Nats is under pressure. You can see the panic as he tries to get into the cages, playing through lane, but nobody else is here. Batu finally cleared by Nats, but Nats cleared himself. But look at Kiko, still holding on to backside, still denying Apex, and well, this is a late play to get back towards A.
And I tell you what, I think they've gotten away with it. There's just about enough time to sneak their way through tree and plant the spike at the base of generator.
And look at the bits of utility that Apex still have moving into this post plan. Still got paranoia, still got a trap, and still got a cam.
But you have to again be thinking about Patty's null command. That can be the ever equalizing factor here. It's a retake in from short. You've got Kiko starting to gut out mid. Mulsi needs this dart timing.
I mean, for Team Liquid, trying to get a clearer idea of the picture when moving into this retake, and they are taking their time, waiting for utility to come online, and Apex just managing to sneak a couple in before the null command has hit the players. So it's all coming down to gunfights for Apex. Trex up high, his package perfect, and Team Liquid's retake is as well, as they'll immediately bounce back and break it 2 between the teams.
Yeah, I was a bit interested to see the timing on the dart there from Mulsi. That was the one piece of utility that missed. There was a good timing on the paranoia from Avova, and I think what they were looking for was to have the blind and then the dart so it couldn't be broken. But the retake from Liquid was excellent. Both of the initiators jumping up on the boxes on site, and then the smoke dropped in from Kiko to give maximum coverage.
Well, we're back to another rifle versus rifle round. Liquid managing to somewhat settle the economy on their team by keeping 3 alive.
And the rounds that Apex have found so far is that streak of 5. So now met with resistance.
Here.
Are they able to give an immediate reply? Camo right in the middle of things.
Yeah.
Patty paired at the hip. Flashes available, but a drone into counter.
Yeah, you know Camo was immediately calling for something to help out, but Apex went out in the duels, and Camo, with no way out, no dash, no possibility, I mean, has to try and shift walk his way out, and that's a dangerous game. Looks like it's going to be successful, though.
See, the supportive utility from Penny is great. The smoke to just perhaps sell a player crossing towards short. That's what Liquid think might be happening right now.
I mean, that's where Apex was.
Yeah, the Apex players looked like they were going to go B main, but they are regrouping to hit A 4 strong, and it's the correct read yet again.
The calls have been really good.
They have.
And Naz is going to have to hold this by himself. No way out, stuck behind generator, and well, did have 2 traps. That's gone now. The cam takes contact, and finally the call will be made for players to start to make their way over. That's still not found. Apex walking out slowly, hiding their position and playing it perfect. The spike can go down, and well, that's Apex, 2 players to the good.
How many times historically had we called Apex a mini Fnatic? These late executions on Ascent are looking really nice, and for Liquid, it's got to be frustrating. You could see the ideas in trying to set up the mid-duel. We've seen a few teams before try and go for that collapse from both short and arch, but there wasn't really a second layer. It kind of fell flat.
I think as well, like, to bring it back to like historic Apex, right? What we know they were good for, like way back in the day when me and you first got to see their journey start, was that it was Eurosense. It was your fundamental heavy maps, and it's nice to see that kind of return in the way that they're playing, the way that they're defaulting, and just being calm. And I think that's the best way to describe them right now.
It's been a big talking point for the promoted sides in the last 24 hours. The experience gap between some of the younger players. and the VCT level, although I don't think that's entirely fair when you have veterans like Avova and Mulsi on either side of the coin in terms of their own individual performance, but you need to be able to close out, and that's going to be on the back of their minds after the KC game. It's another rifle round, another one with huge permutations. Liquid still do not have too much money beneath them, and Apex are grouped up. This is a 4-1.
Trying to get rid of the cam. Apex just being direct, straight onto the side. Nats has well and truly adjusted for what was happening before in terms of the over and straight onto site. Still a duel to be happening in mid as well between Olizera and Camel, but it's a stall out at the minute. Apex still trying to slow roll their way onto site, and it's not worked out for them at all. Team Liquid looking to deal with the newest promoted side in VCT. Olizera left to try and scramble something back. 50 seconds left, mate. I don't think there's a lot of chance here.
Yeah, I don't think Apex were going to get away with a quick B-pop after the amount of rounds where they have created pressure here and then feigned it a little bit, rotated off. So Liquid start strong side. Olizera gets one on the way out, but that's all. Gap closed down to 2. And like I said, you just got to have that anti-rush set up. Nats with the traps, really, really good. And he's like the most difficult player to dig out of a corner in this league.
And I think the biggest thing about Nats for me is not only how good he is with the rifle, how good his setups are, but it's how good he is at adjusting round to round and realising where the problems are. I mean, this guy has been around
You see how easy it is? Keep playing like this.
for the longest time. And well, we'll go back to it.
Hunter's Fury up for Apex in this one. Another default round. They go back to what was working. It's mid and a fake TP for Batu opposite the arch. Again, the Cypher setup has changed. Deep trap market just past Pizza. Same cam which was being used before. The one-way, it spots the legs of the attackers as they move into B main. But Apex have a lot of ground to just free roam, and I think this suits their slow playstyle quite nicely.
100% agree. I mean, not a lot of teams have been allowing them this space. They've been trying to challenge. You think of how KC were playing last week. It feels as if Liquid, maybe their game plan is to allow Apex to make the mistakes, but with Apex being allowed time to think, they're making the right choices.
Batu pinging out the trap as well there. Maybe some mental warfare. Paranoia into short. Brilliant setup for Penny. Can he claim the kill? Patty finds it on the fadeaway. And now at the 40-second mark, Apex start to shift their focus back to B.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure towards A. Now because we've seen Batu get so deep space, it's all up to Trex to hold on towards B with Nats backside.
Finds Batu jumping the gun ahead of the curve, and the recon is still there to fall back on. Mulsi's gotten past it, but Avova certainly hasn't. That's removed from the site though, and that brings them to post.
Hunter's Fury still available, immediately used.
Trex is within range, but Mulsi needs to hit that shot if Olizera can't do it for him. Cuts in the queue with the site fortified. Wow. He's not going to settle unless he has 3 kills. Still might not be enough. 2 on 2, and that's where they fall. Avova in a clutch. A story as old as time itself, and the Dane has done it. Advantage secured. Apex up to 7.
The players look as if they're rolling back the years. Avova with a prime time clutch, and honestly, how they've moved through Ascent so far, Apex
possible,
are looking really good, and I really like that short play straight in towards the B pivot because of the space that Batu had got.
Feel good for Avova as well, the player who clutched it out on the exact same site to push them over the threshold against Pacific. Final round of the half, and Liquid with another mixed investment. But I come back to what we were saying before. This is not a guarantee.
Back soon.
They didn't deal with Camo when he had that deep-lying Bucky in B main before. This time, it's the same close corner Nats was playing Patty on short.
And Penny's won it out. To the Apex, I think, are ready to just go towards A, but instead, no, just use the Euro clone instead. And there's plenty of utility being expended from both sides. Finally, we're going to see that hit come through.
Kiko, the one to stop them. A long-time servant of the side. And it's very nearly gifted one back to Apex there. The TP just on the corner, but it will go to post 5v5. Trex has the ult, but Patty's dead with his.
That he is. Although the Hunter's Fury hasn't found what Team Liquid were looking for. And well, Kiko, actually with the spam, finding Batu will be excellent, and also a trap to secure this post plant.
It interrupted that plant as well, though, so Liquid are here and ready to fight. Lots of damage on the spam. Ollie's got it.
Yeah, he's perfect. And there's more coming through.
He's chewing through them.
Liquid, yeah, I'm just taking so much damage trying to just get back into sight. And Nash is on 15 HP. Team Liquid have not really got a one-on-one engagement there.
Olizera can see through walls, it feels, as he'll put Apex up onto A. A turn of form from the transfer targets that are looking to give them a little bit of propulsion here. Liquid, lots of work to do to turn this one on its head, but it isn't out of their court just yet. We'll see if they can after this. As we saw there in the picture-in-picture, Nats giving yet another speech at the halftime. We'll have to see if it turns into an iconic one or not. 8-4 isn't the biggest deficit that they've had to come back from at a half, Cairo.
It certainly isn't, and this is extremely important. Everybody getting to chime in. Danny being the head for Apex was, interestingly enough, it's Nats who's given the hype up here.
And in terms of what is working well for Liquid, Trex back on the Sova. We spoke a lot of his fade in the previous weeks and how much we wanted to see him on scan. But with this being his second most played agent, behind Raze of all things, it's looking good so far. His drone checks Batu, and Liquid very quickly look to increase the speed of this B push.
That they do. Olizera, wow, Camo, the entries looking great. And he at least has something of an equaliser, but it's not completely equal as Liquid are one player to the good. And Apex taking their time to come back in.
Two from CT, breaks the trap, but the position of Nats here is huge in main. If they fail to clear him, it's a huge contact point.
100%, and I mean the delay from Liquid again. We speak of utility and how good it's been.
Timing.
Although managing to get out a little gap in the guns, the concentration, and well, Team Liquid are dismantling Apex now. Although a 1 versus 2 is where Agova thrived last time, but won't this time. It is another pistol round to Team Liquid.
It's nice to see the stat coming into the round as well about both Camo and Olizera on GTZ. Fuck yeah. You've got to, of course, remember the coaching staff that's come from there as well on Liquid's side. So there is plenty of history between both of these teams. In terms of the pistol, though, it's just very straightforward from Liquid. They're going to have to be searching out Batu's position a lot of the time. He wants to get into these mains, into the extremities, and give info to Apex so they can afford heavier rotations.
I remember last time when the anti-eco came through when Apex were on the attack, there was only, what, 2 picks found realistically. I mean, there's only one that can really be found on A, and that's being put under pressure right now. Is Apex are trying to find him, identifying this is a potential pickup, and it has been caught. Camel will find the lone A site anchor as they're trying to get the spike. Team Liquid onto site to get that planted.
Go with a very nasty position to try and root out here. Finds yet another kill. Just adding to his KD. Halsey's trying to chip one away. Kiko having the best KD differential, a 1.75 coming into this week in EMEA, and that's a 23% increase on second, which is Durka. So, just so rigid. The stalwart at times, and here, it's a very simple pickup for Liquid.
It is. And the last remaining players of Apex want to deny ultimate orbs. I mean, you think to how many times we saw Trex actually able to get the Hunter's Fury up in that last half. I think it was about 3, considering how many ultimate orbs it is. That's impressive.
Every single one of them seemed to find value as well.
Well, we are done with formalities as we can go back to a full buy versus a full buy. Actually, we're going to see Nats pick up a Sheriff instead.
Just sort of flicking through the captains and the coaches there. I was wondering if there's anything to pick up on. You can never be too sure after seeing that spider land on Rians the other week. I'm constantly preparing myself for something to come out the woodwork, but here for Apex, it's A main control, the TP across from Kiko, but Batu seemed to have caught it. No! Avova trading out in effect and getting away with his life.
Well, it will be 4-4, that rifle one to be back in the hands of Nats, but looks like Liquid are playing with the idea of just hitting straight into this. Penny, though, will just be allowed to escape out the corner. But look at Nats' position.
It's the solo player short, though, and with only a pistol, it's so much control removed from the Liquid hands with Avova finding that one. The remaining 3 sat behind the smoke, but that's where Kiko looks to make the difference. Flashed onto the angle by Patty. Olizera playing anti. Quick trade out of the numbers, and Trex last left. His clutches on Ascent have been famed before, but not this time.
Listen, that was Team Liquid's bonus round. That's the one thing not to get too excited for Apex just yet. But they are knocking on the door of double digits.
And a point that I want to hit here is that we have to see Batu get a little bit more value from this aggression. I think the trades have been decent as long as there's a player with him. And as long as he can keep the vibes up, something else which was required of him, then it's going to be huge for their chances. 3 rounds the gap, first rifle between the 2 teams, and Liquid looking for another A pop.
Well, nothing in terms of picks straight away. Nothing in terms of engagements. Look at how Penny is thinking about looking to hold on through short. Remember, Nats last time played through this position. This is just a little bit of information extra that Apex will be looking to deal with. And the difference in this round compared to last is the fact that Nats has support through Trex.
Yeah, he was solo at the start of the round, but Trex has now arrived. And between the 2 of them should be the drone investment for B main, and that's what we're going to get. Outlaw in his hands.
I wonder if Team Liquid have posted 3 players up in main, just A main to be specific, just in case there's going to be a re-clear, but instead Apex re-clear through mid. This is where the Outlaw is, and it's going to get the first pick once again onto Batu.
But very quickly, Penny refilling that space back towards mid, trying to fight Nats Khan. Onto the site, Camo taking down Avova as the sole site anchor, the rest playing off. And without the mid control, this is hugely problematic. Olizera even jumping the gun and losing his life.
2 versus 5. I mean, Apex, they have a little bit of cash, but I mean, actually catching Olizera and Avova, this will be a complete save. But Nats will be hearing these footsteps and looking to call for a hunt.
He will be hunting through spawn very quickly, and it's actually Market where he goes instead with the Outlaw. Trying to remove these last few weapons as Apex will be on an eco in the next. as good as Penny's been. Camo has him beat. It's an in-zone flawless, the first that we've seen on the opening map, and Liquid the ones to pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, that's very well called in terms of like keeping those players in aim. I mean, it's a simple round, but sometimes simple is best.
And as much as I hate to say it, it's also Batu getting caught out again in another opening duel. 3 and 15 as it stands. If he can have a turn of form, that might be just enough to get Apex over the line, but the gap is tightening and Liquid are in a very strong position now.
Yeah, with that swing round going Liquid's way, it's going to get worrying. But this is what Apex do when they start to go on the lesser buys. Be aggressive, and they're pushing the extremities right now. Giving up towards mid, the engagement's taken, and well, Molesy has taken the Phantom tax, and well, Camo will tax Batu once again an entry pick. It's not looking great for him, and this site is told it's not going to look great either. This Team Liquid route it out.
It's brilliant entry work from Camo too, to dash across into his own smoke. Something very simple, I think, for a lot of players who are at a high level, but for those who don't know, you can just use it to collect information as you're flying across the screen. He has the safety of the smoke, and then they can just double swing it together, and it's really, really effective.
Remaining for Apex will be caught out by Patitech.
Back-to-back in-zone flawlesses, that's really going to help the finance for Liquid. You're not expecting them to have to make a save for quite a while now, unless Apex can really start swinging them together.
Yeah, the economy obviously helping Liquid here, being able to close the gap, and well,
there it is.
For the first time, we are going to get Apex timing out after that Liquid back-to-back flawless rounds.
Like I said, look, for all the Jets in my rank games, that's how you entry the site, okay? Make sure there isn't a Cypher wire down when you do it, but nicely done. It's the Apex timeout, which we're going to get here. They've got a couple of ults, but nothing that you can really build around. I think one thing with Avova having the From the Shadows and knowing that Batu will also have his TP, maybe there is a possibility to start a little bit stronger on one side of the map. Probably A if we're being realistic right now, because that's where the hits are coming in, but with an IGL as good as Nats on the other side, an IGL who also has only just picked up the mantle this year. You look on the flip side, Molesy only just became an IGL in 2024, so it's been a very sort of quick learning curve for him as well, a steep one coming into VCT from a year in Challengers.
Yeah, and I think the step up into VCT has all obviously been the real test of mettle. Looked great last year, being able to go up against what is a lot of people making their debut in IGL. This year you're going up against the true tried and tested, and well, we've seen the results and how they've gone.
See here, there is a rifle v rifle speaking in favor of Apex, but like I said to you the other day, feels like whenever we have that stat, it just doesn't serve the team well. Liquid leading in a lot of important stat lines themselves, which we can get to in due course, but right now it's Penny's op timing, which just doesn't land.
This is the first op in this entire map so far, which is most interesting, and that is just going to be a pace change from Liquid and ultimates invested from them. That's 2 from both initiators, and in terms of value, it's not really got a lot, because all his error is kept in spawn, and all those traps are still online.
Over playing around the smoke to set up. No one's looking. He should have had 2, but it's Batu that'll find it instead. Molesy as well, and Nat's last left. Apex so quick to respond to that A pressure and have numbers stationed there ready to fight. With the final position revealed, it's Penny on the line. Nat's walking into trouble. Moment of time, moment of silence for the Fallen as Apex get double digits.
And that's the big thing. Not only that, Batu being able to go and pick up the ultimate orb in the meantime, that's going to bring up the dimensional drift. And this is a really nice round, just from thinking about how they wanted to set up the round. The fact that all these errors stayed so far away to keep the Cypher traps online, as well as the positioning of the players and how far back they were.
For Liquid, they need to find a way to create consistent success to move the needle. It's an attack side op from Camo. A big exchange about to go down, but the walkout from Batu does not punish. His first shot accuracy right now is betraying him.
Yeah, I think he's going to be counting his lucky chickens here. And he doesn't even realise the danger he could potentially be in as a pack of Team Liquid players are moving through B main.
Penny once again ready to receive Liquid. An interesting one against his former team. Liquid lost against Kamek earlier in the year, of course, and in 2025, they're currently 4-2 against their former players, 2 of those against Solcus's Koi. Hoping that it's not going to be another one here, as Penny's moved even closer towards B main now, and he is the player of highlight in this round. Because you look on the Liquid side, I mean, Trex is elsewhere, that's the dart. How are you going to clear him? It's the market pressure.
Yeah, well, Camo, he was going to go for the knives, but instead it looked to go for an op instead. Still making up their mind here, but Liquid finally commit all the utility. Penny still not cleared, but the op not hitting. And it's most important, the flashes, looked as if it was going to set up Penny for perfection, but he's only able to get one. And clearing all corners through Team Liquid. Abova a bit too aggressive with his TP. And will leave Olizera in a 1 versus 3 to come back into.
He doesn't seem to think it feasible for all of the times he pulled it off for Koi Fenix. It's just a very quick realization as Apex are grounded here by Liquid in the next. Such a diligent clear from Camo. I'm not sure if he had the info from Trex there whatsoever. But the site set up from Apex falls.
I think he's just pinging out. He missed his trap as well. If you look at it, it's just on the right side of the door. But with that being said, yeah, Olizera is such an interesting player for me. Like, in terms of Tier 2, never really, I think, got gifted one of the super rosters that we've seen be built down in the second tier of competition.
Yeah.
But always looked like one of the best on, like, your next, like, your Italian rosters or your Portuguese rosters, wherever he found himself on.
That was always one thing about challengers and those 2 leagues when we had them the last couple of years. Yeah, slight mistrap, but it's all good. Devious laugh there from him. The setup's going to be in the right place this time. Let's see what he can do. If that ready-made VCT player, as he was called by his former teammates, has what it takes to step up to the plate and hit Liquid for 6, as 4 of those players are grouped up and ready to go.
I mean, the one thing that's worrying here is if we see a KO knife hit Olizera, this site is all going to go down.
You ever seen a player pull out their phone in the middle of an official before?
You got any games on your phone?
Flappy Bird, mate.
That's a throwback.
See Liquid slowly making their way through the channel.
Deploying
to short. Trex with the drone, going through the gears. It's Camo he's trying to set up here, and Avova does not go cleared in the corner, but they have to be aware of this potential.
Yeah, well, the cam's just seen the barrel, sets up Avova, dips off. The knife hasn't hit, so all of this utility is going to stay up, but they know exactly where the Cypher is sitting and should know where the Omen is as well.
And he still has his paranoia to play with and all the Cypher util.
Yeah, and it's looking brilliant so far as Apex still keep themselves an advantage and know where Nats has managed to move to. The flash doesn't hit, Nats rifle does. We're still within 1 between 2, and information gained for the attack. And well, for defense as well, through the dimensional time, and that's what's getting low.
Still no plant.
No, can't quite get it. Penny gets the spike on the ground, and the players just need to run for the hills. And Apex will go to 11. A big round for them as they get within touching distance of map point.
Between Avova and Olizera, who Apex were joking is, you know, Avova with glasses and Avova without glasses, holding down the site brilliantly. That's something that I questioned with Avova in previous weeks, as he has had a very difficult season so far this year. Is you know, his utility usage and timings. A lot of you know, rounds against KC, he was getting caught out with a smoke or a paranoia. Here he has the cam from Olizera to set him up, and it just looked really good.
Yeah. Well, straight away we're going to get Lohan back on the mic for Team Liquid. It's always between him and Nats about what's going on. Nats being that leadership, but it's Lohan probably speaking about how to move through the map, because we've been seeing it a lot. Liquid playing with lulls, that silence, violence, silence that you were speaking about in other casts as well, and how they go and hit their sights, right?
Yeah, looking like Danny's message is quite clear, one of confidence but composure.
Yeah.
As I'm just sort of making it up as I go along, but you can sort of infer it as much from the body language. And on the other side, Liquid looking a little bit shaken. Ascent as a map is always one which they've been really good on throughout their history. 69% win rate with every version of the team that we've ever seen. It was the double Sentinel that looked good. This is the slight change for them with Trex back in the team. It's not like he's been the problem. In fact, everyone is fragging fairly equally. Huge round coming up, Batu bringing out the op for the first time.
Yeah, it was Penny who was using it last. That knife, it's going to get big information in terms of knowing where the Euro and the Omen are, but they don't know that the Jet is also there.
Batu does have his TP. Oh, he did have his TP for Boathouse. And it's gone. So Apex are going to be a little careful in how they respond to this B pressure from Liquid, which will be scaling into an execute. And Olazera's sight again.
Yeah, he's trying to take a time, and the cage was good, but walks into Camel's smoke, into his domain, and that's not where you want to go, as the spamming towards CT will only do a little bit of peppering overall, and Liquid getting that sight and post-plant.
A difficult retake, but you can see Avova starting to make his way through mid. If they can take main control and remove Nats from position, that might just be exactly what they need.
But time starts to become of the essence. The 6th man for Liquid, and Nats being in main.
Oh, is Batu going to join up with him, or is he saving the op? What exactly? They're playing for exits. They're playing for exits. Avova sat at the ticket booth. Liquid looking to punch theirs for playoffs and moving to double digits themselves.
Out of charges.
I mean, when you look at what is left in the back pockets of Liquid, this will be good damage, but it's an interesting choice.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be huge too, because it's the contact from that op on Catwalk with the paranoia.
Oh, the op has missed the first one. Avova hasn't missed his first target. It's the Apex try to do damage, but ends up being a hit and a miss. What's happening there?
Thanos snapped.
Hello?
They're gone. Reduced to atoms.
Too busy playing games.
On their phone. But in terms of money, it's all right, because you had those back-to-back flawlesses towards the start of the half. The money hasn't really been an issue for Liquid.
But it could be.
But it could.
It could. It can.
It can indeed. It's the null command that we've got here as well from Patty. So heading into the next gun round, we've seen a bit of a checkerboard exchange between the two, as Apex are on 11. They fully bought into this around the weapons that they had. The Cypher setup was A, Olazera's towards B. They get a free pass.
Yeah. Nice
maybe
shots, though.
Oh, he's still standing.
Yeah, I mean, Nats has been able to bring Patty up. Olazera knocks Trex down instead. Okay, Spike goes down, and Neural Theft invested as well. This is doable for Apex.
Liquid going on the offensive, and Olazera's number is up. Camo flashed in for more, and he will delete Penny at the door. 4v3, man advantage. Apex still have rifles beneath them. Do you save again, or do they really want this?
Well, it seems as if they do. They're still playing with the idea as the players try to get in. It's Nats who's next in the kill feed, as well as Kiko. And Avova now needs to throw in the white till, but will he be even allowed the chance as the hunt is on? The players want that last rifle, and they're hot on the heels of Avova.
I mean, Avova can go anywhere he wants with the ult to just try and save the gun, because there's barely any money for Apex here, and that becomes such an issue now. We didn't address it too heavily. Looks like he's going to get away with it here. But they went all in on Guardians, a Judge.
But the thing for me, though, it's the call from Liquid. They know that they have the null command. Last time that happened, Olazera set up on A and then played towards B. So, like, listen, guys, let's just hit B.
Flip it around.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what happened.
Stick it in reverse.
Back it up too.
Another timeout. Back it up, Danny. What do we got? What has he got to say?
I mean, that's the question. There's not going to be too much coming into this round. I mean, essentially, Apex have a choice, right? Do we send it in this round and play for the win, or do we wait for the next round and play for OT?
That's it. They have the tools. They have the tools. Blades, Hunter's Fury, TP. Liquid on the other side, Camo one off, but feel surplus to requirements. You can even see Nats with the Outlaw. He's getting ready to punish. From a much more broader perspective, the reason why the Liquid attack side is working comes back to a conversation that Nats was having on the desk the other day, was that they've got so many vocal pieces in the mid-round. Sometimes he's micromanaging, sometimes he doesn't need to say a word because everyone can contribute. And looking here, the win rate, it backs it up. 4v5s, if you can still create plans and find value, it's a very promising one to hold on to.
I mean, there is 4 players within striking distance of Nats' Outlaw, and it will begin through mid for Team Liquid. Apex, once again, being aggressive on an extremity as they go right over the top of Nats' trap and trying to push Liquid into making a decision.
There's no second layer from short, but Liquid don't want to touch that with a 10-foot barge pole because they would then be fighting back in without main. They look towards Market. Mulsi gets a double tag with the drone, and nearly the second bolt of the Fury as well.
I mean, only one player tagged up and taking real damage there, so should that be kept into the next round? I don't know.
It's also 2 ultimates now on the eco. Apex pulling the plug on themselves in terms of what they are willing to bring to the table against Liquid. Penny has been revealed, but the Bucky hasn't.
Yeah, I mean, they don't know about what weapon he has in hands. He takes his chance, but up close and personal. It's almost like watching an arena shooter the way the players are jumping at one another. Only Zerra, though, making it look back like a tactical one with that Sheriff shot. And then Team Liquid making it look like the range after how easy some of these kills have come through. It's a 2 versus 4. Batu catches Kiko off guard, and he's not been caught, and Batu takes a chance. There's no way it all comes down like this. No way Team Liquid get caught off guard by Apex in a round that they should have had no chance in.
And Batu, from the high heavens, has finally reached the heights. The Sheriff is sublime, and with a supportive flash here, he doesn't stop until the job is done. You can see what it means.
Bro,
this isn't a group game.
You're the fucking...
This is everything. Missed that one.
Oh, dearie me. Listen, there's plenty more to come.
There just might be.
Yeah. This site as well. There's no utility realistically. It's just 2 players holding it down. Penny and Mosey. Batu getting close. And Team Liquid just going straight into it.
Penny denies though at the first time of asking. Oh, plucked out of the sky by Trex. The ult gets so much value, but Mosey's still here, yet to be rooted. And finally dug up by none other than Kiko. 3 on 3. It's overtime or bust for Liquid on the B site.
And there's absolutely no utility to keep Apex out, but there is rifles.
And there's Kiko, once again, looking to rip Apex apart. Avova has all the utils to just bridge that gap from the spawn side, but Patatek's there to greet, and it looks like we might need an extension in play! Trex ends it. Overtime required.
All 24 rounds of regulation needed between these 2 on map number 1. And every time you get a little bit excited about Apex, Team Liquid are right there to pull the players back down to earth. That's why everyone's been saying Team Liquid are champions contenders, never mind just EMEA.
But that also comes through building out their map pool, showing that this Ascent can be better, and it will take time for them to get it up to scratch, the level that they want it. We spoke a little bit about the veto. We've got Corrode coming up next. And for Apex, they've pushed every series so far to 3 maps. But closing it has been a difficulty. They've already lost a couple of maps by a margin of 2 rounds, but yet to play an overtime in this stage. They started on the attack.
Folks need to remember that it was the attack that was the better of the 2 sides for both people.
They're looking inclined towards this B finish after faking the A pressure, and Batu has his entry.
Yeah, Camo trying to be a player on an aggressive line. Remember, there's still 2 more players. They can try and get the trades, and they go one better, they get the advantage. Trying to pivot through A, make a quick response, but this is Nats' site, and that's not where you want to be going into. His lair, as he spins the webs, spins it in his favour, but brings it back. Ollie's error.
2 on 2.
Well, it's going to be a quick swing out, 1 versus 1 against Batu. Batu will win that.
And it felt far too close for the situation. Nats giving us a champagne performance on the Cypher, opening cage after cage. We saw the initial aggression. Malsi, unfortunate not to land any shots there, really. He had to cover Penny's back. Olazera doing great work to keep it close, keep it competitive, but not quite enough right at the death.
One enemy remaining.
And with that, we will head into another timeout. This time called by Apex.
I feel like, you know, we've gone through all of the timeouts in regulation. Liquid used both, Apex used both. They've got another one in OT here.
Yeah, do you know what it feels like? You know the little meme where it's like the formations moving back and forth. Last week was like the baby version where they're like hitting each other with whatever it was.
Hammers?
Yeah, hammers. And then this week it's like the formations moving, really tactical between the 2 teams.
Apex had always been a very fundamental side, 4-4-2 for the football fans. And in terms of how they play, yeah, it does look like the tried and tested. They weren't always ones to innovate with composition. I think Desmo, the current Leviathan head coach, was a key component in helping cook up a lot of how they were playing. Saw Ito go off as well, so it's pretty much just been Danny. And obviously Odorous there as well, right? Sorry to disrespect him like that. Try and bring something to the table here. Jet Yoru continuing to find success, but maybe not to be for Apex.
Most interestingly is we're getting an attack side Odin. It feels like a long time away that we saw this on the attack side. Especially we know how old Apex used to be, or Sensor used to be, in terms of how paper thin it was.
Oh, still is.
Still not hitting though, and that's the most important part. Apex still stand 3 strong on the site.
They're at a bit of a stalemate as the Cypher setup guards the movement to market. Recon still not scanning Camo.
Yeah, this is really big.
He's the only player detached from the rest right now. I mean, Trex is trying to bail him out. Nats has advanced on A, and that's the opening.
Yeah, that's the insert that Team Liquid were looking to use to get onto the A site. The only thing is once again, you look at Apex, they're very quick on the site, and it's Batu up against 2 players. Playing from the lone corner, under Hell. There is a player above him to help out. But realistically, no engagement's coming. Finally it does. Penny's the one that gets the kill, but Batu still not cleared out. But Apex are on their own map pick. Finally, Team Liquid win it out.
Difficulty there for Liquid, made to sweat by the noisy neighbours in the office, but silenced in the end. The opportunity not made the most of for Apex on their pick of Ascent.